article that came out in the Daily News. People are failing so many drug tests here in America. They're now considering stopping all drug tests. Me, I see that as a disaster. Then you will open the floodgate for all of these addicts to be on the job, and that's going to be a huge problem as far as productivity is concerned. Okay, so let's get into this article. Need more candidates, consider eliminating drug tests. Dating back to the passing of the Drug-Free Workplace Act of 1988, the popularity of pre-employment drug tests as a condition of employment has sharply risen. By now, most U.S. employers and just about every corporation has some form of drug testing program in place that job applicants must pass in order to be hired. Drug testing has become a best hiring practice. However, most U.S. employers are not legally required to conduct pre-employment drug testing. According to guidelines established by the Department of Labor, drug testing is only required for federal employees and for employers in safety-sensitive industry like transportation, aviation, energy, and for companies who contract with federal agencies such as NASA and the Department of Defense. State and local laws also can mandate or strongly encourage drug testing for employers. For example, New York requires random drug and alcohol testing of city bus drivers and law enforcement officers. Meanwhile, Florida provides preferential consideration to contractors who have implemented drug-free workplace policies, and Texas requires employers with more than 15 employees to adopt a workplace drug reduction policy of their own choosing. Companies with drug testing programs in place as a condition of employment typically require candidates who have received job offers to provide their urine, blood, hair, nail, or saliva to independent laboratories. The 5 and 10 panel analysis are the most popular. The 5-panel drug test screens for cocaine, amphetamines, methamphetamines, opiates such as heroin, codeine, and morphine, okay, or PCP or THC, which is marijuana. The 10 panel adds propraxifene, methadone, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, and methaqualone. According to the Quest Diagnostic Drug Testing Index, marijuana accounts for more failed drug tests than any other illegal substance among job applicants. Employers have the right to fire or deny employment to anyone currently engaging in illegal drug use. Even in states that have legalized marijuana for recreational use, Alaska, Colorado, Oregon, Washington State, and Washington, D.C., or for medicinal use, currently 25 states. Employers are under no requirement to accommodate candidates' use of this drug. The argument in favor of enforcing a drug-free workplace typically weighs heavily on drug place safety, productivity, and job performance. Employees under the influence of drugs can pose a danger to themselves and others. The drugs that have 5-panel drug test screens for also include dangerous and harmful drugs having no medicinal benefits and a high likelihood of causing severe psychological, or physical dependence. Many useful painkillers and muscle relaxers are opiates. Used short term as prescribed, they do not impact employees' ability to perform a job long term. But what if somebody is testing for a drug test and they're telling you it's short term, but they really are an addict? I don't know. Although most job applicants fail the drug test because of marijuana being detected in their bodies, the failure rate was only 4.3% in 2015, according to Quest Diagnostics. Although this appears to be a small problem, there's a bigger problem. The drug test serves as a deterrent, and some employers report that up to half of their candidates walk away and exit the hiring process rather than undergo drug testing. So I guess many that already know there's no way they're going to pass a drug test, they just forego the whole job altogether and not try to pursue it anymore. The perception of marijuana as having no medicinal use and being highly addictive is changing. Having nearly 2 decades of experience in recruiting, we do for our clients, including many Fortune 500 companies, we are faced with the same challenges throughout the country. When applicants who have passed the resume review, phone screen, pre-employment testing, and the hiring manager interview have their offers rescinded, it's typically because of marijuana has been detected. America has a talent crunch. Employers are encountering trouble filling vacant positions with experienced, skilled job candidates. The combination of unemployment rates near 8-year lows, the increasing demand to find qualified talent, and the changing view of marijuana is motivating employers to recess their drug testing policies. I have to hire a great workforce to compete with those cyber criminals, and some of those kids want to smoke weed on their way to an interview. FBI Director James Comey said in a White Collar Crime Institute, an annual conference held at the New York City Bar Association. Some political leaders are taking a more proactive approach on this. For instance, Georgia Governor Nathan Deal wants to launch a pilot program that would help prospective employees who fail drug tests get treatment for their addiction. As I talk to many business people around the state, the number one reason they can't hire enough workers is they can't find enough people to pass a drug test, he said. Even if an employee pass a pre-hire drug test, it doesn't mean they will be drug-free throughout their entire tenure of employment, or that the employee has not used illegal drugs in the past, says David B. Lechenberg, a partner with Fisher and Phillips, who advises employers on how to draft legally a compliant drug testing policies. In addition, if an employee engages in conduct that violates work rules, unless the employer is required to do so, it is oftentimes wise to avoid drug testing as there is simply no need for it. Focus on behavior at issue and be consistent in your approach to discipline under the circumstances. Of course, if the drug policy must be utilized, the employer must be confident that all of the required steps have been followed to the letter, Lechenberg added. All right, so yeah, they're going to have to make a decision, continue to drug test, because apparently Americans are not passing these drug tests nowadays. So they're going to have to do something. But I think it's going to let the floodgate open for the people that are on much harder drugs if you eliminate the drug testing. Then next thing you know, you're going to have all these heroin addicts and opioid addicts face down on the keyboard. Rather, it tells you that a person was exposed to marijuana sometime in the past 2 weeks to 6 months, given the changing legal environment for marijuana. The use could well have been lawful. As more and more states consider marijuana for medicinal and recreational use, we are seeing many employers discontinue drug testing for positions that do not involve the use of heavy machinery, do not place others at risk, and are not covered by federal mandate contracts. By eliminating the drug test as a condition of employment, many employers have seen a very significant increase in the number of candidates applying to their open positions. Well, that's going to be the only thing they can do since Americans can't pass. And it's really bad, and this is a nationwide problem. And I can see why they're now considering this. All right, I'm going to post the link to this article in the description box, and you can come out and look at it for yourself. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And if you can donate to my channel, please do. Peace, family.